Good evening, everybody. Right, no, we've not got the news. Before you even go, oh no, we've not got the news again. Right, we're not doing the news. No, we're doing about weather. A lot of weird things going on with the weather at the moment. So, and I've got a hypothesis. Hypothesis? Yeah, I've got a guess. Right, I've been looking at the weather around the world, and you think, oh well, yeah, it's not. Some really strange stuff's come up. South Africa, they've got snow. Yeah, I thought that. I thought there's two traffic cops throwing snowballs at each other on African roads. So, it's a fair old depth of snow there. Oh, blimey, okay, right. And then I looked at America. Now, America at the moment, they're the same as the UK and Europe. They're having a bit of a heat wave, but they're also having flash floods. And then their long-term forecast is actually for a cold snap. Coming early. Now, anyone who knows America, I'm sure they'll tell me this, but it's nice and lovely through the summer. Then you get into the windy part where it's all, the middle of it's covered in tornadoes, things like that. And then they have the winter, which is very cold. I remember seeing pictures of New York with that 4 foot of snow. And they're all cycling around the shores at the moment. So, so the forecast is that they're going to get a cold snap. Oh, right, that's a bit strange. And then over here, you've got Paris, drought, flash floods. There was a scene of a place yesterday. I think that was near Naples or somewhere like that. And there's actually one of these like a London Eye on a fairground. Wallets are as they're called. And it's flying around as fast as it can, and there's bits falling off it, and no one on it, and it were 140 mile an hour winds, and they mustn't have took it down. It's whizzing around, throwing bits off all over the place, and you're thinking, well, what's that about as well? And then of course the UK. Well, I'll tell you, weather report. The weather report at the moment is that we're in a bit of a cool, having a cool breeze at the moment, so it's not too bad, but it's going to get hot again. Not sure how hot. I'm probably next 10 days we're going to go up to from Monday onwards. We'll be into nice weather, 23s, 24s. But then with it, how it has been, it might go through the roof because you might end up with a lot of very big storm stuff coming across from America again. So that is due. So that could be not next week, but the week after. Might see some storms coming in. Right, and some precipitation, some rain. Right, so the weather at the moment is very climatic. Do you like that? Climatic? Right? Yeah, buy the cheap joke books. Right, so that's what the weather's doing at the moment around the world. Now, why have I said that I've got an idea of what's going on? Well, quite a while ago, I was actually on about the reverse polarity that's going off at the moment. So north is going to be south and south is going to be north. You know, if you've got a compass, you'll be able to track it. And the scientists were saying that that's what they thought was happening. But they didn't know all the things that actually happen when this happens, because the last one was about 10,000 years ago. It is a regular occurrence with the Earth, but we don't know all the things that happen. So, we don't know what's going to happen. So we've got to ask ourselves, is this global warming, or could this be associated with the changing of the poles? So I'm not exactly sure. But for me guessing, and it's only a guesstimate from the uninitiated into seismology and everything like that, I think that there probably could be something to do with changing of the poles has actually brought about all this weird weather that we're getting. Because it's not just us, it's everywhere seems to be getting it. Now, as well as that, it's going to affect a lot of things very quickly, short and long term. I've just done the count for Lake Mead in the States. Obviously, Lake Mead has been drying up really quickly. They've had quite a lot of flash floods just lately, and it's gone up round about 2 foot. So, in added to Lake Mead. With those flash floods, so we can. So fingers crossed, you get a bit more water over there, because the emergency acts are coming in left, right, and centre, trying to budget on this war. Oh, I'm tired. trying to keep all the water levels right and all the people using it. So from that side, hopefully you'll get some water back in there. And as well as that, the body count there is 5. I'd just like to tell you that. Yeah, it's five people have been found dead of various things in Lake Mead so far. Hopefully there's no more to come. Right, now, so that's what's happening in America. So now, what's going to change is for like the war that's going off at the moment. That's going to be a bit sticky because we all know what happened to Napoleon and Hitler when they invaded Russia. The cold Siberian wind came down and made it absolutely unbearable, the wind and everything like that. Well, that's going to be the same in the Ukraine. The winter is going to come upon us, and it's going to get very cold very quickly. Now, when that starts coming across, first of all, that war is going to get very cold, and it's going to be really bad because they've got nothing working over there at the moment. But then when it gets to the UK, and I have to mention the UK and Europe, not both of those at the same time roughly, we're going to see problems because you've got a lot of old people who are going to be hunkered down. They haven't got the money for their fuels, so in Europe they're just going to get cold. Now, the medical people are actually talking about this. Normally I'm quite cheery with different things. I try to throw things in, but it's not a cheery subject. The medical people are starting to worry because they're thinking that they could have an awful lot of old people. I'm late middle-aged, but I'm always in t-shirts and things like this. Even in winter, everyone says I'm hardy. But I think what's going to find out is that if you're older, if you're in your 60s, 70s and 80s, they're going to put an extra jumper on and it's not going to be enough to keep them warm. So what I'm going to say is, this is directly, and I want people to subscribe so they can pass this on. I'm appealing directly to the gas and the electric executives because no one else seems to be listening. These people have paid for their electric and your standard of living all their lives. Okay, we don't mind people making profits. But you're not talking about 2 or 3 people passing away in winter here. The medical people are starting to worry that we might get hundreds and thousands of people dying of cold. Can you imagine your parents, your grandparents dying of cold in a cold house? Because they can't afford to eat properly. They can't afford to heat their home. Well, it doesn't seem to be washing with anybody that this is a reality. This is a reality grasp. So what I'm asking for is everyone to share this, do your own. I don't really care. Do your own version of it and put it out. We want the people from the gas boards and the electric boards to realise why they're making millions. People are going to be dying. So that's blood money, that is. And like I've said before, people aren't going to forgive you. If old people start dying in their hundreds and thousands, people are going to go to the police and they're going to try to have you arrested because that's corporate manslaughter. That's how I see it. It's corporate manslaughter. So just for a massive amount of greed, there's no need for it. You can still make a healthy profit. We're not saying that. We're saying don't be greedy with it. So you're not just saying, oh, well, I can go to Torremolinos for an extra 2 weeks. You can keep somebody's grandma or granddad alive just by not taking that extra little bonus here or there. This is what's happening. It's getting to the point where you've had a taste with the kids mucking about, raiding shops. What happens when their parents decide, I need to feed my children? How would you feel if what would you do to feed your children? Ask yourself that question. So this is a heartfelt thing for me to say to everybody. You don't have to subscribe to me or anything like that. Please share this so the people from those industries actually realise what they're doing to everybody else. So, and that's all I've got to say. So I'm hoping everyone is, like I always say, have a lovely evening. and I'll catch you all next. And hopefully we'll get some brighter news. You never know. We might get an effect from this. We might not. But I can only try. All right. Night night, everybody. Have a lovely evening. Bye bye.